to guide you through the undertow. From tales of love lost and battles won, to secrets that hide when the day is done. We'll paint the night with stories so stark. Welcome to Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. The lawyer's voice smooth like leather, he sings lies only he can tether. In the sultry jazz lounge, let the wisdom flow. Feel the rhythm in the late night glow. Through custody tangles and alimony strife, he navigates the drama of everyday life. With a wry wink and a cheeky remark, let's unravel family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark.
All right, folks, we are back, and my wife is still trying to get herself situated over there with their, I don't know what she's got, the kids' headphones or something, and our laptop. Anyway, this is Vlad, and we're going to get started with our first case of the day. This first one is like actually, of the 4 cases I have on deck, one of the most common that I see, questions from wayward husbands, their biggest concerns about what do we do? My wife is threatening to take half. And so this is the scenario. And let me share this with you guys. What happened? Oh, you don't need a link because you're on my Rodecaster. Just talking to the mic. And if you could hear it well, you know what? Let me send you a link. How about that? Maybe that will work better here. Damn it, you're keeping me behind. You better be sick or dead in there, man. I swear to goodness. You even know what movie that's from. All right. Is it the right? Yeah. I know what to do. I've been a YouTuber for long enough. Anyway, you got a link. So do what you got to do there. I'm going to share this with the audience, and then I'm just going to read, and then you can chime in whenever you feel good and ready. Right. This is what we're doing right now. Is that on my screen? It is. Yes. All right. So this is the scenario. Salam alaikum. My wife and I have 2 kids. We've been having some challenges on and off during the marriage, just like any other couple. My wife decided to take the kids and leave to a different state by her family without my knowledge while I was at work. Is that you? Did you just log into the thing? Oh, look what you did.
Did I mess it up?
Totally. No, don't do anything. Don't press anything. All right. Let me just let you on to the, there you go. All right. I'm going to mute your mic. Just talking to that one. Because yours is on, count to 5 for me.
1,
Good.
2.
You're good. All right. Amateurs over here. Amateur hour. All right. So my wife decided to take the kids and leave to a different state. And by the way, that is a big deal. That happens way more often than you'd think. Without my knowledge while I was at work, she refused to get any of her family involved, including her dad, and kept telling me she's going to get a divorce. I'm going to pay her half my money. No physical violence. I don't drink or use alcohol. Didn't commit adultery. Doesn't matter. I work and took care of the house and took care of my family. Our challenges is silly day-to-day related issues. Anyone who went through something similar or have some insight on the matter will be greatly appreciated. Sheikh's input are also welcome. Obviously, this guy is Muslim or Sheikh or something, or Sikh, not Sheikh, Sikh. How can I convince her from Quran that it's haram to take more than that was what was agreed on in Islamic contract and not the American law? Well, here's the thing. This is exactly what I would tell this guy. If it's an issue of Islamic law versus American law wins. Every single time. Why? It has nothing to do against Islamic law. It's just that we are litigating this in the courts of America. And in the event that we're litigating this in California, the family code applies and prevails. And so whatever your preconceived notions of Islamic law and what it entitles you to in a divorce doesn't matter. It just doesn't. Nobody cares. And if you want it to matter, then what you're going to have to do is get a prenuptial agreement, or you're kind of at the mercy of American laws that you very likely despise. So, where did I leave off? Not the American law. We married in America. That she only entitled to Sharia law only and not man-made law. Yeah, American law doesn't care unless you got a prenup that says that. Sorry, bud. Also, is she entitled to the muwaker? I don't know what that is. Mauer, since she's the one who's asking for divorce. Look, most of the states in America are no-fault states. They don't give a shit about who's asking or not asking for the divorce. Matter of fact, the majority of them don't care if there was infidelities, if there was whatever. If somebody wants to get divorced, then you don't get to hold them hostage. You don't get to dictate terms. Matter of fact, the reason that they are likely getting separated and divorced from you is because they no longer want to be under your control. And so you could waive the law of Islam or your religion or whatever it is that you want, all you want. And American courtrooms, they don't give a shit. And community property laws prevail. And they say that she's entitled to half of all community property. You get to keep your separate property. She gets to keep her separate property. You get to keep all of your inherited stuff. She gets to keep all of hers. But anything that was obtained during the marriage as community property, it will be split 50-50. And that's just how it is. Now I say that, and this guy is talking like I have a weird echo. Testing. That helps. Hey, count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, whenever you talk, I'm just going to have to bring up the volume. Test. All right, we'll see. So he says, now look, that's a hard thing for him to have to hear, but he needs to hear it because these are the rules by which he's getting divorced. It doesn't matter what he wants to be the rules. These are the rules. It's just the way that it is. He says, I don't want to divorce her because of the kids and also to try to make it work. Will she have to pay me the dowry since she's the one asking for a divorce? No. There's no such effing thing as a dowry in American family law. Will she have to pay? How will the nafkah or child support be determined? It will be determined by a calculation. They will take how much you make versus how much she makes versus who's the primary parent versus how much time with the non-custodial parent that person they spend with the child, and they will spit out a number. Let's just say you're making $10,000 a month and she's making nothing at all because she's stay-at-home mom. And you decide that you have to work. That means that she's going to be the primary parent. She's going to be taking care of the kids. You're going to have visitation rights. You guys might have joint legal custody, but your time with the children might amount to like 20%. We're going to take that 20% of custodial time that you have with your children. We're going to take your income of $10,000 and you're going to say, well, bullshit, she should be working. Fine. We'll impute minimum wage. That's about $2,600 a month. So we'll take your $10,000 versus her $2,600 a month. And then American laws, at least in the state of California, will say that you're probably going to pay her about $1,700 a month in child support only. And then you're going to ask, what about the dowry? What about the nafkah or whatever this is? And they're going to say, where does that fall into the formula, sir? And you're going to be like, I don't even know what the formula is. And they're going to tell you exactly. You lose. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Yeah, I remember that girl. She was a hoe. For show.
Totally.
I wonder, how is he going to feel when he hears about alimony?
Oh, he's not going to be happy. He is not going to be happy. Look, I've had people literally ask me these questions, and they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna find another attorney that's gonna abide by their religious laws. Fine. Maybe you should try to get change the jurisdiction to some religious court or something that doesn't apply. I practice American law. Your divorce is in America. I don't know what to tell you, sir. Your divorce is specifically in California. What do you want from me, buddy? I can't break the rules for you. And finally, is it haram to just ask for a divorce for the simplest reasons? My understanding, if the husband is cheap, hit his wife, drinks on drugs, or go out with other women, these are some major reasons to ask for a divorce. Well, in a no-fault state, you don't have to have a good reason like that. You could just honestly not like the guy. You could just decide that, well, he's just not meeting my needs anymore. And I think I deserve more. I think I deserve better. I think I deserve a high-value man. Fuck off with all of that. It doesn't matter if they have a good reason or not. If they want to leave you, they can. No questions asked. These are the questions that they ask you in California. They say, have irreconcilable differences arisen in your marriage such that no amount of counseling will be able to help? Yes. Do you wish to be divorced? Yes. Do you wish to be restored to the status of a single person? Yes, I do. Do you wish to have your maiden name restored? Yes, I do. And then they'll ask you the same questions. And even if you say no, it's not going to matter. You're getting divorced. I feel for this guy, and, he seems to be a devout Muslim and well-read in the Muslim customs. And the thing is, if she doesn't want to follow that law and she's seeking the protections of American law, and you try to enforce American judgments versus Muslim judgments, the American judgments are going to win. It's not a nationalistic thing. It's just the way that jurisdiction is handled. Some judgments are enforceable above others. And the United States government has dictated a separation of church and state. They have mandated the state courts to decide and issue judgments that the government will uphold. The Muslims have no such agreement with the American government. And therein lies your misunderstanding. And I sympathize with you. You got a lot to think about. You might want to take a couple of mountains to spend by yourself in the mountains and just kind of figure out what's what. But these are your new realities. And you need to start thinking about the reality of, if you want to be in your children's life, how are we going to make that happen? Now you and I can start getting somewhere with respect to how I'm going to represent you in this case and what's going to end up happening, because your children have an entire childhood. And the legal question that is posed upon us right now is, are they going to have a father in their life or not? Because she has decided to take it upon herself to move to a different state. That's a big deal. And the law has a lot more to say in how they litigate orders that involve children. They will do whatever is in the best interest of the child. And they just might tell this lady that, look, good for you that you want to move to Texas or wherever it is, but you are not taking the kids with you because it's not in their best interest. That's the issue that needs to be litigated. So you need to shift your focus away from your misunderstanding of how this is going to work and get with the reality of the family code and the state in which you're getting divorced, because that's going to dictate the terms of a judgment that's going to be enforceable. And that's all I got to say about that. What do you have to add to this, gentleman?
Well, I don't have anything to add as far as the law or what he seems to expect from her. I just feel like his perception or his idea of what the marriage is supposed to be, like his bar is really low. When he talks about, well, I didn't hit her, I'm not cheap, I didn't cheat on her, like she should just be happy with that.
Why shouldn't she just be happy with that? She's safe.
Is she though?
I don't know.
Because he could be very verbally abusive.
I have no idea. I have no evidence to suggest otherwise, that she's not safe. What's going on here? She says, OMG, I didn't know someone else was here. I'm embarrassed. There's like 200 people in here. What are you talking about? And Noli, what are you doing, man? Oh, you guys are talking about Palaver girls talking about, I so love the ball busters. What are we talking about? Ball busters?
You know what? I don't have to answer to you.
You know what I mean?
Bitch is running wild, man. Bitch is running wild, man.
Every day.
That's exactly his view. He was like, well, I fed her.
Who the fuck are you to put me on trial? I've never even met you.
You know what I mean? All right. I don't have anything positive to say about this guy. He's going to have to come to some harsh realizations. Unfortunately, we don't practice Sharia law over here.
He doesn't sound very interested in like mending the relationship.
Well, I got to,
He said she's the only one.
he does want, I'm going to push back. He does want to mend the relationship. He wants to restore order in the relationship.
It sounds like he wants to restore power.
That's what I mean.
And control.
She's subservient to be held under his shoe. Bitch, you will make me a sandwich. And don't you put too much mayonnaise like last time. You know,
Bitch is running wild, man.
I will slap the shit out of you.
I feel like that was a scene in like, what was that movie?
Does he look like a bitch?
How to Be a Millionaire or something?
Oh, 40-year-old virgin.
No, the
Yeah, I
one with,
remember
like
that
she was
girl.
making a sandwich and she put too much mayonnaise or something.
I know what you're talking about. Slumdog Millionaire.
Yes, that one.
Slumdog Millionaire. Hey, man, we got different rules over here. It's just different. There's a gender equality and stuff. You got to respect your woman over here. You got to look at them as equals. Over here, the thing that we talk about is like gender duties. It's not so much about who's subservient or not. I don't know. The narrative shifts. What do I know? I know nothing. Hey, why don't you go make me a sandwich? How about that? You want to refill my whiskey?
No.
Well, that's fucked up. It's like 15 feet down that way.
You have legs.
I'd get you a... See, now you're just trying to talk tough in front of the whole audience. I would get you a whiskey.
And maybe you should.
All
I
right.
don't have a glass.
I'll be right back.
Thank you, hon.
You gotta tell everyone a story.
So Omar says I have to tell everyone a story. I don't have a story to tell, but I'll have Omar tell the story that he promised earlier.
Well, we need 2 more super chats for that shit.
I think you counted wrong. I think there was 10.
No, they had to be 10 over $5. We got a bunch of like $1.99 ones.
Oh.
I don't make the rules. You two make the rules. Anyway, we're done with the Muslim marriage. Let's move on to another one. Let's move on. Is my screen still shared? Could you see it?
Yeah, we can see you.
You can't see shit. Here, let me do this. Could you see on your laptop?
That's what a screen is for, yeah.
Now you're just being a dick. All right. How about this one?
What did you do? Give me like a triple?
That's
almost
barely a
full.
single. The glass is narrow. You don't even work in the morning. You don't have to drink it all. You drink like a girl.
Surprise, surprise.
All right. Husband slapped me after I confided in him that I was.
Why do we both erupt in laughter? This is not good.
Husband slapped the shit out of me after I confided in him that I was raped in the past. Oh, this is actually a serious one. How dare you laugh? All right. This lady is 23 years old. Her husband is 28. They've been together for 5 years now, married for 2. He works in the IT, and is the only one
I can
working
relate.
while I'm studying economy.
That
And we're-
sounds boring.
Economy is boringer than IT.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, work part-time on weekends, so we both contribute to the household. We've always been a very happy couple. Everyone seemed to be a little jealous of our connection as we were always also best friends. He's very sweet. Hardworking man who seems to love me and wants me to feel secure sometimes in ways that I don't agree with, like putting down other women for looking a certain way. And I've talked about it to him, but he doesn't seem to know what the big problem is. Not sure if that's relevant. Is that even a problem? What do you think? Are you following? You're not following.
Repeat it again. I'm sorry. I got stuck on the part where he said that he seems to love me, where she said.
So he's very sweet, hardworking man. He seems to love me, wants me to feel secure.
Yeah.
Sometimes in
Another
ways that
woman.
I don't agree, like putting down other women for looking a certain way. And I've talked about it to him, and he doesn't seem to know what the big problem is. Not sure if that's relevant. I don't think that's you. I think that's the writer. I'm kind of confused myself. TW, rape. I've been raped when I was in high school before we knew each other by a classmate on a school trip. We barely knew each other, but one night he got into the woman's bathroom when everyone was outside and raped me and strangled me really badly so I couldn't run away. And after that, I went to the police, but nothing happened. The police dismissed it because they didn't believe me and said I couldn't just decide to ruin someone's life one day because of a whim. I still did have strangulation marks, though. I feel like the story is bullshit. I'm saying that because if there were strangulation marks, I feel like that's the first thing they would have checked to corroborate your story.
I don't know.
There's a
I'm
red
gonna
flag
have to
with this
push
one.
back on that. I don't know.
If I'm a cop and someone says I just got strangled, look at the marks on my neck and I see marks,
Yeah.
I'm not just going to say, yeah, you're just trying to ruin somebody's life.
But somebody else might say, hey, you know what? I'm not privy to what floats your boat. Maybe you're kinky that way. Maybe you asked for it.
Not any officers that I know.
How long ago was this?
This is this week, a couple days ago.
No, well, I'm just saying when she was great.
Oh, well, shit, I don't
She
know.
said back in high school, she's
So it would have been
20-something.
about
I don't know.
6-7 years ago. She's 23.
And depending on where they lived,
Well, let's
I
hear
don't know.
her
I
out.
think there's a lot of
There's a lot of
variables
unknowns.
here.
So I recently decided to tell my husband everything since I finally got the courage and stopped being ashamed. I sat him down yesterday. I told him everything. And after that, he put his face in his hands and then he slapped me really hard.
Ooh.
That seems to be an incongruent response. I could feel my tooth has been chipped. He then stood up, packed some of his clothes, and left. I was crying the whole time, and he only told me to shut the F up. I don't really know what to do. I didn't call him or anyone else. It's already morning, but he hasn't come back. Any help would be appreciated. Here's an edit. Thank you for all the advice, and honestly, I'm kind of torn up on how to proceed this entire situation. I'm happy that a few people from my country have spoken up specifically so that they could help me since my knowledge of law is limited. I'm probably going to post a separate update when the situation becomes clearer, but now I'm staying with my family temporarily since I don't have much money to my name. Thank you for anyone concerned about me. I honestly felt immensely happy reading that so many people care for a random stranger on the internet. Stay safe, people. If the story really happened, if this isn't a bullshit story made up for Reddit, then what the fuck?
Mhm.
It just doesn't make any sense. You just tell me how you got raped in high school and I'm just going to slap the shit out of you. In what world?
Well, where is she from?
She doesn't really say, does she?
I know, but she says people from my country.
I know.
It just makes you think, like, well, where?
I missed the part
Is
about
this a
what country
cultural
she's
issue?
from. Oh, here's an update. Okay, so over a week ago, I posted about my husband slapping me after, you know what? If anyone wants to read, okay, so oh boy, the whole thing is just a big mess. Let me first start. After I wrote the Reddit post somewhere in the morning, the day after it happened and my husband left, I packed some of my stuff and left. Fortunately, none of my valuable things were there. So that was the easiest part. I waited a few hours for a train and just went straight to my family house where my parents and older brother live with his hot wife. I told them everything that happened. They had no idea why he could have. I got to tell you, this feels a lot like a bullshit story
Why?
because it's the way that she's telling it. She's filling in too many irrelevant details. This is not the story of somebody that's telling the truth. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm just saying it's like I'm 90% confident this story is bullshit. I told them everything that happened. They had no idea why he could have done that since he was always sympathetic with me, but it was getting hard. My brother's wife works in court and knows quite a few people, so she said she would help me resolve this. 2 days later, we all decided to go back to the apartment to get the rest of my stuff. He was not home, and it seemed like it did not come back once after he left, which was weird. All the time, I was so nervous he would come back. My hands were shaking. I had to go to the toilet because I feel some things wanted to be freed really bad, to which my brother said, don't flush it. He deserves the last present. The fuck is she
That's
going?
so gross.
Leave a big giant turd. And so I did. I'm a petty bitch. And so was my brother.
Maybe it is fake.
Guess we really are, fam. Can we just call this one fake? I feel like this is bullshit. This is fake. But man, did that feel satisfying? My university is going to be fully online this year, and I hope, all right, so I don't have to go back to the city anymore, at least before graduation. I'm going to skip down to here. I hope you've caught it, because he says slept with. Caught what? All right, God damn it, I got to read this.
Yep.
My uni also helped me get a therapist, which I'm meeting with through Skype in a few days. So that's quite exciting because I'm very eager to go guilt-free and finally feel relieved. And because she took a massive dump in her husband. That's retarded. It's for my marriage. He finally did call me out about 5 days, I think, and was asking where I went. I told him to not worry about it since I'm going to file for divorce and hope he's not going to cause trouble. This sounds like a kid.
Well, she said she was like 23, right?
Still,
She's a kid.
she sounds like she's like 17 or something.
Well, some 23-year-olds are like 17.
He started crying and saying that hitting me was a mistake and he's very sorry for disrespecting me like this. I told him I don't care because there's no reason for him to lay a finger on me. I also asked him why he'd do this, to which he replied something along the lines of, I don't know. I suddenly got very angry and was very frustrated that he didn't tell me before that he slept with someone else.
Oh my God.
I hope we've caught it because he said slept with. Right then I was so done. I started half yelling, half talking through the phone.
As if the physical violence wasn't enough.
Why would that even matter? I'm married to you. And apparently he asked me at the beginning of our relationship if I'd slept with anyone else before and answered him with no. Now I'm mad. So I yelled, I was effing raped. Sex does not equal rape, you shithead. She totally said that. I'm so done with this post. I'm all the way done. She got her teeth fixed at the dentist. Able to visit the next day somehow, and it's now like new, exclamation mark, by the way. The dentist asked me how it happened because I was in a really bad state. I told him I was hit while not thinking anything about it. He kind of gasped at that moment, and I said, yeah, this is bullshit. If this was true, obviously, I mean, what am I supposed to say? Yeah, the guy was a piece of shit. Any man that hears about a story of his wife's sexual assault, the most common reaction is not going to be one of jealousy and beating the shit out of his wife. I'm most skeptical because she claimed that she was strangled. An officer saw her shortly thereafter. There was no visible marks, but she claims there was marks, and the guy scolded her, basically. This was not a rape.
You know what?
This was buyer's remorse.
I don't know. I'm going to still have to push back on that. I don't agree necessarily. Even in the Gabby Petito case where we see the footage.
That's a little bit different though, isn't it?
We see her with marks. Who's to say that he didn't have a scratch when she was trying to fight back?
But that's not what she said. She said she went to the cops.
Maybe she didn't mention it, but who knows? Maybe that's something that they took into account. Maybe he said.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what's not connecting. If there were marks on her neck, like she says, I know of 0 officers, and I know many, I know hundreds, who would just decide that, you know what? Why are you trying to ruin this guy's life? That's not something that a cop would say. Mostly because they've been like on body cam for like a really long time now.
In Poland?
Are they in Poland?
Yep. Keep reading.
You could have fucking told me they were in Poland. That's not okay. I don't know how they do it in Poland. I'm just saying in America. A boilerplate police investigation. You see marks of strangulation or marks on somebody's neck who said they were strangled. You're not like scolding them. How dare you? Not maybe, I don't know. Maybe Poland has different rules.
I mean, I don't know how it is in Poland.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm just saying.
South of the border in Mexico, how is it for women?
Well, it's completely different. No, it's completely different. Like, what if it was like this other guy? Like, what if it was like in a Sharia law-led country? Then obviously rules are different. But I'm just saying, if she walked into my office,
yeah, but she's not here.
San Bernardino, I would have questions and red
didn't
flags.
Grow up here, and her husband didn't grow up here.
So if it's Poland, okay, fine. I
mean, all I'm saying is I don't know.
What are the chances that you think this is a real story, percentage-wise? Considering the taking a dump story.
I mean, she's young.
Leaving him with a present.
And young people are odd.
She talks like a wannabe social influencer.
Maybe she is. I don't know.
Okay, well.
But that's not to say that this didn't happen to her.
I don't know. Well, here's what I suspect. Could I tell you what I suspect?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that she had a sexual encounter that she wasn't proud of. And to rationalize it and make herself feel better about it in her mind, she chalked it up to because it was buyer's remorse. I was raped.
But why would she tell her husband years after the fact?
For
no
sympathy.
need.
I'll tell you what, there is an entire subset of individuals, of people that get off on trauma dumping. They get off on people feeling sorry for them.
Yeah, so I feel
Her
like
expectation
if
was,
that was the case, she would have said this earlier.
maybe,
Hasn't
maybe
it
not.
been like a few years into their marriage?
Well, let's see. If it happened to her in high school, they said that she said that they were dating, been together for 5 years, married for 2. Happy couple. Everyone seemed to be a little jealous of our connection. Nobody's jealous of your effing connection. That's how children speak.
They're young.
He's a very sweet, hard-working man and wants me to feel secure. I've talked to him. Okay, I've been great. When I was in high school, we barely knew each other, but one night he got into the women's bathroom when everyone was outside besides me, and raped me and strangled me. So there were witnesses?
No. She said everybody was outside of the bathroom except for her.
There's still witnesses.
No, I mean, that doesn't mean they're literally outside of the door. They just weren't in the bathroom.
I'm picturing like a public restroom with no doors in a fair type setting where sounds would be the thing, in a crowded environment where all you would have to do is scream and people would be like, what the fuck was that? And they run back in there.
If she was being strangled, I doubt she could scream.
If.
All I'm saying
But here's the other thing.
is if she was
It was
doing it
over
for
at some
sympathy, 5 years into the relationship, that doesn't equate to me.
What if she was guilty about something? It doesn't matter what it is. What if she just wanted the sympathy? What if she's playing this card for a while and now she wants...
For 5 years?
I don't know, man.
That doesn't make sense. No.
I don't know. Maybe she just... Okay, so let's call it a genuine story. Maybe she just felt the courage to... I feel like I've sounded like a dick. I'm not trying to sound like a dick. I'm very skeptical of this story. I'd have to meet this young lady and look her in the eye and decide whether or not she's telling the truth. But maybe it's the cultural differences between Poland and America. I just feel like this is bullshit. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I just feel like it's a little bit of an outlier when it comes to believable, credible stories. That's all. By the way, what's going on in the comments? Blueberry flavored. Rosa Braga says, singer, it depends on the contract CH would have made with... Y'all are talking about Justin Baldoni. They are not talking about the flat right now. Objection, Your Honor. Factual basis. Grape happens all the time. Yes, Nanny, it does. It does happen at parties all the time. And oftentimes the grapes that happen at parties are unreported. And oftentimes the grapes that happen at parties are ambiguous because of alcoholic intoxication and what forth. But this lady said that she has strangulation marks. And just as a man, as a man that wants to do good in the world, who, if a law enforcement officer saw strangulation marks, I cannot imagine they would start scolding her.
Okay, I'm just going to say that I saw a comment. Let me see if I can find it again. Somebody said, not all cops are white knights.
No, that's true. There's some cops that are pieces of shit, 100%. And I will concede that fact because it's true. They are.
And it's not even about being a POS or an asshole. It may be just, he might think that, you know, the guy made a bad decision and is trying to sympathize. I don't know.
Well, that happened a lot in the Midwest, like in Texas, in the southern states.
Well, and that happens here. I mean, who knows how it is in another country?
So, look, maybe I'm part of the problem. I'm just saying that the way that she's telling the story, maybe it's because of her youth. There's just a lot of red flags that Honestly, if she was sitting in my office, I would not tell her that I didn't believe her. I would just ask her the questions to fill in the gaps. Just like I did this morning with another person that came in my office with a bullshit story. And I deciphered bullshit. And I was asking questions, and come to find out she was a fucking liar.
Okay.
Had nothing to do with
saying
the
that-
essay, with the grape or anything. It was
Right.
completely different.
I'm not saying that people aren't full of shit. They are. There's a lot of people that are opportunistic and will use anything to gain an upper hand.
It's
But
no wonder we do not live in we sort of live in San Bernardino, but like near the mountains.
It's unincorporated
I don't even know what that means, but it's like this new
in the county, not
developed.
the city.
It's supposed to be a city, but it's not really a city. So it's not the San Bernardino that everybody talks about. This the most dangerous city in America. I will say that my law office is in that part of it, San Bernardino. It is in the most dangerous part of the city. Yes, but where we live is not in that area. We're about like 30 minutes, 20 minutes outside of there, like near the mountains. It's quite peaceful, actually. And I'm reluctant to tell people about it because I like it to stay not crowded. I don't want it to become like LA. If it becomes like LA, I'm moving to Montana or Wyoming.
So relay to me your red flags.
Of her?
Yeah.
The strangulation story.
Yes. The cops didn't believe her. That's one.
The fact that I've spent 11 years talking to people that were genuine victims of this kind of thing, and they don't sound like her.
Okay, but don't sound like her. Why? Because she's young?
There's a tenor. There's a tenor to it. Like a lot of the times, people that are genuine victims of this, they can't fill in the holes. They can't fill in the holes. And there is a dereliction of facts. There is
Fill in the holes of what? Because she's not telling us about her great experience.
No.
She's telling us about after the fact and her husband's reaction to it.
She's talking about the universe outside of the grape.
Right.
The people that are genuine, they talk about the moments leading up, and there's always holes, and they can't fill in the holes. But they're not fixated on the outside of it, which is all the other people that the story is affecting. They're focused on the incident that infected them internally. If that even makes sense.
I mean, I guess that would make sense if you're trying to like bring a lawsuit.
No, I'm talking about in criminal cases. In criminal cases where I've seen genuine victims of this testify, like in a trial that you watched me try.
Yeah.
There was like children that were talking, and the way that they were talking, like they were giving these inconsistent stories, but they weren't inconsistent in that they weren't remembering the same facts. They were inconsistent in the way that they were retelling different parts of the story. Like they would block out certain parts, but remember specific parts specific to them. And it was very striking to me the way that they were fixated on.
Yeah, but she's not telling any specifics or anything
Exactly
of the event.
You're right.
But that's not relevant to the story. Her story is her husband's reaction.
No, because her husband, she told her husband a story, and we don't know what she told her husband.
We don't.
But if he told her something like, "Hey, some guy held me down in the bathroom and I couldn't do anything, and I thought I was in fear for my life, and he took advantage of me and had his way with me," and then his reaction to that is, "How dare you sleep with another man?" Slaps the shit out of her. That's not the same thing as, that's just an incongruent response with what you would expect somebody to react in that situation.
Absolutely. But is that her fault or his fault?
I'm not saying that it's an issue. I don't know whose fault it is.
Exactly.
I don't know what he was told, which leads me to believe
she doesn't tell us what she told him.
Which is why
outside of the fact that she was raped.
I'm telling you, man.
And the police didn't believe her.
If I were to cross-examine, I should not be the guy to cross-examine because I would tear her apart on the stand. And I would feel like a dick when I was doing it. But look, if I was representing her, I would have a lot of questions focused on the incident.
But we don't have any of that information.
I'm not an expert witness to go in and testify whether or not people's testifying. Look, I feel like I know when people are credible and when they're not. But I'm just a lawyer that's been doing this for 11 years. I've seen a lot of people give genuine testimony, and I've seen a lot of people try to bullshit me. So my bullshit detectors are going off. That is all. I got a lot of questions.
Okay.
I haven't made any definitive conclusions. I'm just telling you I think she's full of shit.
I get that and I understand that, but I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Well, you're gay. How about that?
Next story.
All right. Let me share this. Let me share this one. All right. Shannan Watts is seeking divorce advice. What? Do you even know who that is?
I know who that is.
Okay.
Remember, you do this, but I consume this.
You watch all my shows for some.
Yes.
If you had a
Not
show,
just your shows.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So she says, I know it's been 6 years since this crime. People discuss it all the time. Probably because we have unanswered questions since there was no trial. I came across something interesting in one of Chris Watts' interviews. He told the detectives that Shannan and him were sleeping in different beds and that she had already started looking for a home in North Carolina, and mentioned to him, you do know Colorado is a 50-50 state, right? So she was already planning on getting a divorce. I researched that, and that's not true. It appears that there are stricter laws in Colorado regarding division of property and child custody, but it's not a 50-50 state like she says it was. Another lie. That's true. The judges factor in income, employment, who spends more time with the children, but they also do that in 50-50 states. What do you want about? Did she seek legal advice and realize she would not benefit from divorcing Chris? Her seeking out advice means that the marriage was over with. She stayed with her parents to try and figure out where to go from there. So why was she so desperate to hold on to the marriage? This lady's kind of a bitch. I'm just going to say that right on. This lady, Shannan, that she's talking about, was murdered by her husband, who had a mistress, who this mistress was involved in a sex cult that practiced sacrifice of individuals, whose cell phone pinged at the Watts residence on the morning that she was murdered and her body was disposed of at the oil fields over there in Colorado. What is she talking about? This is actually making me angry. I don't know if you shared my anger because of my knowledge of the case. I'm just saying I'm angry because of the way that what is she trying to say here? Shannan Watts was a person that had come to the revelation that her husband really just wasn't all that into her. She was pregnant with their third child. She was prepping for a baby, for the birth of a child that would never be. She was trying to resurrect a marriage that was on the fritz in the hopes that somehow she would be able to keep her family together with their third child on the way. They lived in a beautiful home. Regardless of the divorce laws in the state of Colorado, what woman in her position wouldn't try anything possible to salvage the marriage? What are we talking about right now? What are your thoughts on this, based on what she's saying?
It does make me angry. I mean, Shannan was just trying to keep her head above water, keep her family together, and mend her marriage based on the text messages that she sent
To
and
her
the
friend?
conversations, that she's had with her friends. It's just, it's sad why anybody would want to paint her in a negative light. She was just trying to do the best for her family and her girls.
Oh, people are evil. So I asked myself, she says, Why was she so desperate to hold on to a marriage? Baby or not, that marriage was done with. She didn't fucking know that. How the fuck would she have known? How would she have known that it was over with? She was having like conversations with her husband about resurrecting stuff. They were planning a vacation together. How would she have fucking known that?
And
So
he was completely involved in saying that he wanted to mend it too.
he had told her that they were going to go on some skiing trip or whatever before she left to North Carolina or wherever she was at. She says, so I asked myself if that marriage was done and she did her research on properties in North Carolina, had already tested the waters being single for 5 weeks. She wasn't single for 5 weeks. She thought she was married. Chris thought that he was single for 5 weeks. He was carrying on with that lady. Why was she practically begging him? Because she wanted to hold on to a marriage that she had been building and cultivating for years. Or did she realize that in Colorado, it isn't exactly, what the fuck are you? This lady's an idiot. I don't know why I'm assuming she's a lady. Maybe it's a man. I have no idea what gender the writer or the author of this Reddit post is.
I don't think it matters.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
nuts.
This person is an idiot. The judge determines he's more financially. Her placing them in daycare all day while Chris worked 10 hours and she's home all day with no real income, producing jobs, does not look good to a judge. How the fuck does she know what it looks good to a judge? A judge would see that she's working 10 hours and bringing in income. Her husband is working full-time and bringing in income. They would be no different in the eyes of a judge.
And then she says that she didn't really have like a real job. Wasn't she pulling more money than Chris?
Well, that's she was working with, she was selling products.
Yeah, like an MLM, but she was
Sort
making
of.
more money.
It seemed like she was making money. I don't know the details of her finances, but she was pulling some kind of weight. She wasn't just a stay-at-home mom not doing nothing, sitting on her ass and like fucking off.
She was definitely trying. She was trying to hustle. She was trying to do what she could to keep their family afloat.
Yeah, the daycare thing is specifically because she wasn't just sitting at home like doing nothing. She was working. Her staying in North Carolina for 5 weeks was always strange. Is it because her special friend CM was also there during that time? Even Frankie Jr. stated something about how she was unfaithful to Chris during that time. Something snapped in her when Chris came that last week to North Carolina. She didn't have her puppet to cater to her. She was losing control of him. But beg for a man who was sleeping in another room is just weird. Such a strange person. You're just a fucking asshole. How about that? I'm
What was
getting
the
off of
last
that
part?
one.
Can you go back real quick?
I already clicked out of it. It didn't make any sense. It's pissing me off. Let's just say that she was having an affair with somebody in North Carolina. The
Even
text
so, what is
message,
she trying to say?
Well, she's trying to. I don't know what the fuck. I honestly don't. Is she defending Christopher Watts, the murderer of his wife and 2 infant children, toddler children? Look, the evidence. I did a mock trial on the Chris Watts case against Nicole Kessinger, and we had examined all that evidence. At best, well, at worst, let's just say that she was having an affair. The text message evidence suggests that she was not doing that. The text message evidence suggests that she was desperately conversing with family members and friends about the perils of her failing marriage, hoping that it was going to get better, losing faith, but hoping. And she comes home after that 5-week vacation and she is strangled to death and dumped in an oil field. And her 2 children, 3 and 4 years old, were disposed of in oil tankers where they sunk to the bottom of an oil-filled vat that they couldn't even retrieve their bodies without draining the vats. And when they recovered their bodies, at the very bottom of that, the people that recovered their bodies are to this day in counseling because of it. I think some of them had to retire because of it. They found them blood-soaked, skin torn off of their bodies,
Oh my goodness.
babies because this fucking piece of shit wanted to, I don't know, live a different life.
I can't understand any of that.
So if we're trying to shift the blame to Shannan Watts, then you could just fuck right off. Put that on a different show. Don't put it on mine.
What I can understand is Shannan trying to mend her relationship to keep their family together. And in leaving to visit her family, I can only imagine that she was thinking that absence perhaps would make the heart,
Well, she specifically said that absence would make the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
She did say
so
that.
Sad.
Look, there's a lot of pieces of shit out there that would support Christopher Watts for whatever reason. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm just not entertaining those arguments ever on my show. So there's that. Let's get to this last one, and then we're going to wrap up. All right. This person wants to know if they're the asshole. Am I the asshole for just refusing to cook for my wife at this point?
Yes.
Well, let's hear him out. Let's give him a chance.
Cook for your wife whenever you can.
Oh. Some people are intimidated by cooking. Some men out there just believe that their wife should be the bearer of all cooking duties.
No, we love it. Cook, clean,
I ain't
do
cleaning.
the yard work. It's all sexy.
Look, I'll do the yard work. I ain't cleaning shit.
Let me tell you, you've never looked better than after mowing the lawn.
Well, I'm breaking my backs doing the landscaping duties, putting them rocks where they're supposed to go. Oh, anyway, this person says, I'm 39 and male. My wife Jennifer is 37. We've been married for 8 years. We have 2 children. I work full time. Jennifer is a stay-at-home mom. She's a wonderful mother to our children. But one thing that she does not like to do is cook.
Don't blame her. There's a lot of critics.
Yeah, my wife used to suck at cooking too. I had to introduce her that, hey,
Thanks, babe.
you don't have to season the food like we're poor. I could get more seasoning. Season that shit.
Yeah. And I also heard no, what was it, bell peppers in the enchiladas?
Don't put fucking broccoli in the enchiladas. You putting bell peppers in the enchiladas? What the fuck is that?
Trying to introduce vegetables to the girls. That's what that was.
You could just introduce it to them in a more natural way. Steam the vegetables, a little butter, a little salt, But you're throwing it in with all this shit with the enchiladas.
All right, let's get back to the story.
If I'm cutting into an enchilada, I don't want to see a broccoli sprout in there. What the fuck? It belongs on its own. It's like,
well,
a lobster tail is a lobster tail.
If you remember correctly, there was no broccoli in there.
Why do I remember broccoli then?
Because you have a bad memory.
No, I feel like I'm not making that up. I feel like you tried that once, and
it was
you're
bell
blocking
peppers.
Oh well, that don't belong in enchiladas either. That belongs in fajitas.
And that's what you said the first time.
I probably did. See, the worst thing you could be as a husband is know how to cook yourself, sort of.
So do it.
The fuck? Bell peppers don't go in the enchiladas. So fucking make them yourself, bitch.
Does he look like a bitch?
Sometimes. All right, so she's a wonderful mother to our children, but one thing that she does not like to do is cook. That works out just fine for me. As I generally get off work by 4:30, I happen to be a phenomenal cook. My father was a chef, and I've been cooking since I was 10 years old. I also worked as a line cook for several years. Virtually everyone loves my cooking. When we have company, it gets rave reviews. Our children always ask for seconds. I put a lot into it. I take pride in my cooking skills. The only person who doesn't like it is Jennifer. She complains endlessly. Too salty, too much pepper.
Jennifer needs to
This isn't
start
good.
cooking.
I'm like, bitch, I don't have to cook for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cook for everybody else except for you. You can make your own hamburger or whatever. She also backseat cooks a lot, where I'll be in the kitchen making something and she won't shut up about what I should be doing differently. The worst part, though, is that she'll frequently insult my cooking and then go get garbage like a Hot Pocket or a frozen dinner. See, I'll talk shit about your cooking on the sly.
Hot Pockets.
Don't ever do that again. Never make that noise again.
But they're delicious.
They're so bad for you.
That's not what I said.
I know what you said. I'm just saying,
Take
look.
your comment off.
Whose comment?
It's no wonder she said take your comment off.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Snow. Back to this. Look, I would never talk shit about your cooking.
But you have.
I will make constructive criticisms. Unless it's an egregious foul. What the fuck are bell peppers doing in these enchiladas? This is not what is this?
That is not egregious.
It was an experiment gone wrong. It was just, let's not
Pick
do
them
this one
out.
again.
Be a big boy. It's not that hard.
And I did.
It was for your kids.
You know what? I did dig them out and I gave it to the dog.
And they wouldn't even eat it.
And I just said, these enchiladas are not up to par. What I wanted to say
sketchy.
was, these enchiladas are bullshit. What the fuck is Let's go get some Jack in the Box.
Really? You would take a Jack in the Box like
Over
mystery taco?
Over those enchiladas? Yes. But how many times in the years that we've been married have I ever said that? Once. When you try to put bell peppers in the enchiladas. Just that one time. Every other time I shut the fuck up and was respectful and grateful that you would cook and slave whatever it is that you made. Whatever amalgamations of ingredients. You were creative, whatever. You under-seasoned the food. I'll season it myself. I'm not trying to paint myself as
I
like
have a few recollections.
Example.
Other incidents.
Example.
Chicken soup.
All I said was don't under-season the chicken soup.
No. Remember, you want to go way back?
Go way back then.
To where I made chicken soup like a real Mexican with chicken legs and the rice.
Why the fuck did you leave the bones in the chicken? What is this?
That's how you make chicken soup.
Nobody makes chicken soup like that. You take the meat off of the bones. Why is there drumsticks, like full drumsticks in the chicken soup?
That's the way you make it.
Bullshit you make it. Nobody makes it like that. Nobody makes it like that.
Flavor the broth.
And then you take the broth and you put it into the real soup. I do it that way too. And then I take the meat off of the... All right. God damn it.
I got more incidents, but we'll just skip over that.
Yeah, you don't have any more. I feel like you don't. I feel like...
only guess.
What did I say about that?
I don't know. You said something.
I didn't say shit.
You said something.
You're full of shit.
That's why I stopped making it.
When I made it, it was delicious.
You made albondigas?
I made a form of it. I made white people albondigas. We'll call it a vegetable soup. It was like potatoes and meatballs and like a...
Pass. Let's go.
Yeah, right. It was delicious, though. You ate it.
This has nothing to do with the Reddit post.
All right. This guy says, everybody loves my cooking. Nobody loves his cooking. When we have company, it gets very rich. The only person who doesn't like it is Jennifer. So she's backseat cooker. That's what on the Hot Pockets, right? So last Wednesday,
Hot Pockets.
I made Salisbury steaks with mushroom gravy, cream cheese, mashed potatoes, and roasted asparagus. That does sound delicious. And for a few seconds, I took the tiniest bite imaginable. She then made an exaggerated retching sound, dramatically threw her fork on the plate, and went to heat up a microwave burrito. Yeah, I just snapped. I didn't say anything at the time because our children were there. I was completely done. The next day, I made teriyaki bowls with broccoli. Jennifer sat at the table waiting for hers, and I informed her that I was done cooking for her. When she asked why, I told her it was a waste of food, that she'd just go have a Hot Pocket. Jennifer was furious. I won't cook for her. She says that instead of giving up, I should try a bit harder.
I think Jennifer could suck a dick.
Did I mute your microphone?
I don't know.
How come I can't hear you anymore? Speak up.
Hello.
Speak again.
Okay.
Huh. Oh, I pressed the. All right, I fixed it. I fixed it. Never mind. So Jennifer's furious that I won't cook for her, and she says that instead of giving up, I should try a bit harder. I'm not going to read the edits. Look, here's my deal. If your partner is going to take the time to cook for you, then you better fucking appreciate it. It might not be the best. Look, there's a threshold. If it's not like an outlier dish, then you shut the fuck up. If it's like a keeper, then you announce that it's a keeper and you thank your wife or your husband.
And you over exaggerate, even if it's like mediocre.
No, just express your gratitude if you want to get cooked for again.
Exactly.
But if it's really an outlier, a genuine, like, look, this is dog shit, never make this again. I would appreciate if somebody told me, hey, this, whatever you did, that didn't work. All right, cool. I'll never do that again. That's constructive criticism, but it shouldn't be for every single dish. You don't just sit there and be like backseat chef over there, ungrateful for what your partner is doing for you. And so, no, I'm not mad. He's not the asshole for saying that. She was kind of being an asshole with the way that she was evaluating food. And that's all I really got to say about that.
I'm going to have to co-sign on that.
Uh-oh, Mrs. Omar is getting spicy. Caliente. Drop the D word. Did you drop the D word?
Oh, that was when your mic wasn't working.
What did you say?
I said Jennifer can suck a dick.
I didn't realize that I was living in a whorehouse.
You know what? If somebody is going to cook for you,
Yeah.
whether it's good or bad, you say thank you.
I'm pretty sure I say thank you
food
every night. When you cook whatever it is that you make, you throw it in a dish. But I'm grateful and appreciative.
And if you don't like it, then you cook the next day.
And I do. Well, I'll just say, hey.
Well, you don't cook the next day, but
there's like maybe
one
or two times when like this shit, whatever you just did, didn't work. It didn't work. Didn't work. Never do that again. It was an experiment. Let's just chalk it up to lessons learned. How about that? That is all. Folks, that is our bonus episode of Flad. I've been going for 2 hours now. And before my voice goes all the way out, I got to talk for like 5 hours tomorrow on live stream. And so I'm going to duck out. I love you guys all. I will see you guys tomorrow. I got a super chat. Oh, shit. Thank you. Very insightful. Chi H with the $10. I think that hits our goal. I have to tell a story now. Oh, I don't want to tell a story.
What was the story again? About your first, like...
the first time that I ever tried to, like, hit on a woman.
When you were 2?
Oh, shit.
Talking about all the titties hanging from your mom's, like...
That's hardly hitting on anybody. That's more like staring.
Like hot tub party?
No. Well, there's the one time in high school that you know about where I asked that one girl out in journalism class, and she was a senior, and I was a freshman, and she like patted me like a dog. Like, oh,
that's cute.
How cute. You tried. You could fuck off.
Oh, you thought you had a chance.
Oh, but before that, there was this one girl in the 6th grade that I really liked. And this is because we got 10 super chats. Oh, fuck it. I'll just tell the story. So it was in 6th grade. I really liked this one girl. And then we were boyfriend and girlfriend for like a month or something.
Wait. Back up. How were you boyfriend and girlfriend?
We just declared. We declared.
Declared it how? Did you send her a note?
We sent notes.
Did she circle yes?
She circled yes. We never talked. We talked on the phone. But when we would see each other in person.
On your mom's, the landline.
On the landline, where everybody could pick up and listen. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. And so we would walk to school on the same street, on opposite sides of the street, like separated sidewalks. We'd never talk to each other. And like one day she just sent me a note that, hey, Monica breaks up. It's like, you motherfucker. So I got the bad news. I got another girlfriend. Her name was Jennifer.
I'm confused. What happened?
Well, the punchline is coming. So I got broken up with Monica. I got a new girlfriend named Jennifer. I don't remember how it happened. I really don't. But she was my girlfriend, and it was declared. And so she would like go to my little league games and watch me play baseball and like all the things.
Dedication.
Yeah, and then
I wouldn't do that shit now.
for her 10th or 11th birthday, I don't remember. Maybe it was her 12th, 7th grade, 12th, her 12th birthday. I was invited to go to her birthday party. I went to her birthday party. Guess who was there? Fucking Monica.
Your ex.
Oh, and she was with some other guy.
The new guy.
I was pissed. And they were like playing like this is like straight out of like fucking Wonder Years. Oh, I fought that dude. I beat his ass. I beat him down. No,
Turns
we
out
fought.
you're not better than me.
We fought to the death. I fucking crane kicked his ass to Chino Hills.
Punched him in the throat. There's no coming back from that.
I slapped the shit out of that guy in front of the whole school. Said, "Fight me, bitch!" And then when the principal came to get us in trouble, I started crying so that my mom wouldn't get mad. It's like, Mom, I was defending myself.
We were both the victims.
I did not defend myself. I knew what I was doing.
You were the aggressor.
Oh, I was
Should
not
stop
undefeated.
me, yeah.
I got my ass beat
Where
before.
was your father figure?
I had zero father figure. I was my own father figure. I got my ass beat before. I'm just saying on this occasion,
Where
I
was
beat
Paul
that
Newman?
guy. Paul Newman was making a movie somewhere. Anyway, so she was there with her new boyfriend. I was there with my new girlfriend, Jennifer, and they wanted to play like this game. It was like, okay, for your birthday, you have to make out with her. And I was like, no, I really didn't want to.
Where was this?
It was
this
in
like
her
a
house.
home? And like go in the closet type situation?
It was 1992. It was 1992. We were in her house. Her parents were upstairs. Like there was a bunch of like 11 and 12-year-olds downstairs in a
Not
little kids
with
party.
Supervision.
Nowadays, I think they would call that parental neglect. I think you would call CPS for that.
I would have cameras.
Well,
everywhere.
we do have cameras everywhere.
And that's why.
Well, anyway, they wanted me to make out with her, and I just refused. And they were trying to get me to do it for like 20
your
minutes. No, with my new girlfriend.
You refused to make out with your new girlfriend?
I didn't want to. I'd never making out with anybody ever before. Never. Not at 12. And I didn't want to make out with her. I wanted to make out with Monica. And so I just like, and then after about 20 minutes, she's like ran upstairs and started crying. And I just felt like such a douchebag shit.
Yeah,
I like had my little, I had my little Walkman, and then my grandma picked me up from the house.
Oh God.
And she took me back home. And then I was just like all in my feelings. I was shooting hoops in the front porch. I was playing basketball.
Emotions out.
I was listening to YouTube. YouTube.
You were listening to YouTube?
You never feel
YouTube?
like
Really?
you did. Not YouTube. U2, the group.
Oh.
U2. Or Red Hot Chili Peppers. It would have been. You never feel like we did that day and all that stuff. So,
Californication.
oh, fuck, man. That was my big story. I'm not going to sing Snow Wonder. Yeah, please don't. She says, please don't sing. That's not even my singing voice, Snow Wonder. You don't even know my singing voice.
Confused. What was the whole like?
The punchline was, I refused to make out with that girl because I was embarrassed to make out with her in front of my ex-girlfriend who I really liked. And I really didn't like this one. And I hurt her feelings really bad. And it was embarrassing. And I felt bad.
But I thought the story was supposed to be when you first asked a girl out.
But you've already heard that one. The first time I asked
This is not the story we were promised.
Oh, MB Shotzi says Monica's a hoe.
Those
So
11-year-olds be hoeing.
Oh.
Was she 11? She might have been 10.
Okay, so before that, all right, you want a hit-on story? I'll tell you a hit-on story. So I remember one time I flipped my dad off in the car, and he made me walk home all by myself, and I got lost
I heard about
in
that.
freaking West Covina. And like in the midst of all of there, I was just like, I didn't know what to do. So I went to this baseball diamond that I found in some high school somewhere. And I was throwing rocks from the mound. I was like working on my skills, right? And then as I was doing that, like these two girls like walked up to me and was like, I was working on my skills. And like these two girls, like, hey, we just started talking. It's like, hey,
Age ranges.
let me get your number. We like exchanged pager numbers or something.
These girls, what were their age ranges?
Oh, we were like 11 or 12.
Same age range to you?
I was a horn dog, 100%.
Okay, but same age range to you.
Yeah.
They just happened to walk
I
by
wasn't
and they're
very
like,
good at it, but I was not shy in talking to girls.
Okay.
And so I did.
I mean, I get it.
And when I talked to her, when I tried to call her back, some dude answered the phone. He's like, hello. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Like, dude, dad?
No, it just sounded like a young guy.
Like I can't do the
voice,
but like crackly.
And then in my 11-year-old or 12 or however old it was, I was like, I got scared. And then I hung up. And then I called back again.
Abort.
And it's like, hey, is whoever the fuck her name was, Angelique there or whatever her name was?
That was her name.
Like, that is my girlfriend. It's like, oh, well, I was just talking to her at the baseball field. It's like, I will kill you. And it's like that kind of conversation commenced.
Wait, I'm confused.
Yeah. So I called back.
How is that boy answering her home phone?
I'm assuming because he was over there. Because he was probably her real girl. Why wouldn't he? Maybe he was jealous.
Something from a homeowner.
The
mom would pick up.
If it was her dad.
The kid would pick up. Somebody would pick up, not a guest.
If it was her dad, he had a very effeminate voice for a man.
Possible.
And if that's the case, like 30 years after the fact, I kind of feel bad that like I told that guy that I would fight him and kill him.
Is that what you said?
I probably said something to that effect. I would have been in that mode.
First blood.
Yeah, no, I was all Rambo, Rocky IV, and the whole bit. I was not very smooth at 11, 12 years old. I was kind of a dumbass. It was just, I was inartful in my approach.
All right.
Anyway, that was my story. I think that was good enough for the super chats.
Well, we got 2. We're good.
I know. There's like a bonus story in between. I got to find something to do for tomorrow's Flad. Anyway, folks, I love you all. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to do another episode of Flad. And I have, I'm going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. I don't think I'm talking about Baldoni tomorrow, but I'm going to be talking about stuff. We're going to go live at 3, Flad at 4:30, and then we will see what transpires. But I love you guys all. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.